Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Last week, we started with some trade setups that I said were going to be the trades of the week. So I'm going to do the same this week as well. So we're going to start with a few setups. We're going to do a bit of a recap on the setups that we looked at last week and see how they've played out in the week. Looks like they played out quite well. And this week, we've got quite a number of setups. You may need to watch the whole webinar to see some of these setups, but I will start with maybe 4 to 5 most probable setups, especially on the pound and the euro pairs. They are very nice setups that we'll be looking at in the next sessions, setups that could potentially really pump up your accounts. All right, so we'll be looking at that in a bit. So before we get started, if you want to contact me, under the description of my videos, this is the latest one. I'm actually looking for somebody who can help me with the timestamps. So timestamps, anybody can do the timestamps on the comments and post them up here. Anybody who can assist me with the timestamps, you can actually get a discount for the cost. You can come in and put in the timestamps in the last couple of videos that I didn't, because I didn't really have time to put in the timestamps. So I'm going to give you somebody who is interested in putting up the timestamps, a 50% discount to do this. Just one person who can do this for us on a weekly basis. All right, so anybody interested, just contact me. This is my contacts here under the description of the videos. My email address, WhatsApp or Telegram number that you can use to contact me. Trading, we've got also the Telegram channel there. There isn't really analysis there that I post. I usually just put that up, the links for the live webinars, as well as the link for the recorded YouTube videos, as well as you also see there's my trading view link if you want to follow me there. Right, so our next course is going to be on the 17th of June. 17th of June, it's a 2-week course. For more detail on the course, use these contact details here. It's a 2 weeks course, so for timing, the content of the course, what else would you be getting there? Also the price of the course. You'll find all that detail if you send me an email or contact me via any of those methods there, preferably email or the mobile number. Right, so you'll get information about the course. That is on the 17th of June. All right, so for next week, it's going to be the 9th of June. We will not have the webinar next Sunday. We may do it maybe on a Friday or on Thursday. That's because I'll be running the Comrades Marathon in Durban on Sunday. So you guys can cheer on for me. It's a 87 kilometer marathon. It's my hobby, so it's something that I really love doing. So you can cheer on for me on Sunday, the 9th of June. So those who've got my mobiles, you can follow my tracking link there and how I'll be doing this. So really appreciate it. So we'll try to have the webinar either on the Monday after the marathon or on a Friday or a Thursday. So we'll announce during the week. All right, so let's get started with this week's analysis. We'll start with Bitcoin. I said I'm going to start with the most probable trade setups that we're going to be looking at in the weeks. Let's start with that. So last week we looked at 2 trades of the week. So that was CHFJPY and Euro New Zealand. Let's start with CHFJPY. CHFJPY has played out perfectly. Let's have a look here at CHFJPY. It's going down with the rest of the year and pairs. We're going to update the rest. So let's just go here on the daily, or rather the 4-hour. So those who watched last week's video, you should have gotten this trade. You even got how we enter our entry strategy that we use in our trading group. So this is how we post the setups in our group. So we've got, we use this a Slack group. We use a Slack platform for our group. So this is how the setups are sent. So what you don't see there, this is just an exception. I don't usually post this with the entries and the stops and the targets. So this is a setups channel where we post trade setups, like trades that have confirmed according to the strategy. Because when you're forecasting, it doesn't mean that you're taking the trade. You must wait for all the confirmations. We've got a number of confirmations that we use to actually take the trade. So last week, I indicated that this has actually played out and it is confirmed downside. So this is what it looked like last week, and this we are now around here at around 818. So this, as I said last week, is only the minimum target. It's only a few pips from target. It will hit target, possibly even crush the target and move further. We're going to update this and see how this is going to play out. So this is only the minimum target. You can either take profit and wait for another entry, or you can just protect your profits and move your stop loss and put it into profit and let this run. Because I'm of the view that this is still going to go down. So I'm going to update this as we start with the analysis. Right, so that's CHFJPY, and that's how it has played out. So let's just go to the live chart now. So this is how it has played out from last week. So this was the entry. Let's just get it. This was the entry. This is what has happened last week, and this is what has happened now. So it's only a few pips, missed the target by a few pips. It will still hit target. It is still coming down, and I expect it to go even further than this, as I said last week. Right, hope you made money from that. It was a clear setup. Now, the next one that we looked at last week was EURNZD. EURNZD is still the trade for the next week. Has not really played out, but you can see that the setup is almost inch perfect. Okay, it is almost inch perfect. So now, why do I say this is perfect? So EURNZD, you've got a pulsing move here, and we're not just looking at pulsing moves. We also have to look at the fib levels and the entry strategy. You need to have a specific entry strategy that tells you that this trade has confirmed. So let's have a look here. So you have here a pulsing move and a corrective structure. After the corrective structure, you've got a pulsing move. So that's telling you that this move has possibly started again to the downside. Now, if you want to look at this, look for the 1 hour flag here and look for an entry. So you can actually even take this with your stop loss just above that flag over there. Okay, so you need to protect yourself from there. This is going to be a big move if it plays out, because the expectation here is that, let's have a look here on the daily. The expectation with this one is that this is going to go all the way down like that, and this is also just the minimum. Okay, it's also just the minimum, and I'll show you why I'm expecting it to go all the way down and even crash bottom here if possible, but minimum is here, and that's over 700 pips to the downside if this plays out. But you need to wait for this confirmation. Don't just go and take it just because I said so. You need to wait for that confirmation. All right, so as it is now on the daily, you don't have that confirmation as yet. You still need to get it still has to confirm. Okay, so looking on the 4 hour, let's look at the 4 hour. So we need one more confirmation here for this to go down. Now, when you take the trade, you need, and this is the reason why you need to put in a stop loss. You could be finding that you've got a pulsing move, you've got a corrective structure. Yes, it does go down, but it doesn't go all the way. It just makes another corrective structure and pushes one up before it actually comes down. So that means if you're going to take this trade, when it gets to around this level here, you need to move your stop to break even in case this happens, because this can actually play out as a corrective structure like this. Okay, can be a WXY structure, corrective structure here, and it pushes up higher. When you give up on it, and then it starts coming down on the move that you've been expecting. Okay, so you need to have a strategy to manage the trade. That's trade management. Now, there's a number of setups here also on, let's have a look, Pound New Zealand as well. It's got a similar structure. We'll look at a few here. Pound New Zealand, let's look at all the pound pairs. Let's look at daily here on the pound pairs. We're just looking at the trade setups now. We haven't really started with the analysis. We're gonna go into detail of this. Right, so Pound New Zealand, you've got that 3-wave corrective structure, and it's coming down here. It's showing us that this corrective structure has possibly completed. So now what do you need here? You need a corrective structure. Any corrective structure here is gonna take you down back to this level. What will that mean? It means you've got this, you've got a correction, and you've got this. Now, this is a daily. You need confirmation in the lower time frame. You don't just go enter this, because this can correct until you cannot take it anymore, and then it starts dropping. So that's why you need to get that confirmation. You need to have that skill to manage your trades. So let's have a look on the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, this is what we have. We had this push here, this corrective structure here, regular flat here, and it's starting to push down. Okay, so now breaking below this, any corrective structure, even if it's on the 1 hour, you can actually enter this. Right, so you can actually take this trade if you did not take it here already. This is where you should have already taken the trade. Okay, it's already you could have also taken it from when it did this expanding flat here. Any corrective structure here, you should have already been in the trade, but this has been going on down very slowly. So you can look for an entry still, because I'm expecting this to go down quite significantly. So why we've been expecting that, we've been looking at this corrective structure from last year, from December last year. That corrective structure has been playing out. It looks like this is the end of the correction, and we're gonna come down now, but we need to get the corrective structure and confirmation for downside. So that's another one that we're going to be looking at. So this has not set up as yet, still needs to confirm. So we also have pound CAD. Now look at pound CAD as well. So pound CAD is busy making this corrective structure here. So even if you get this here, that can just be a simple pullback. So any move that you see on the pound pairs, that is a pullback for further downside. Now look at pound CAD. Pound CAD is similar to the other pound pairs. We're looking for further downside. Let's have a look here. Let's switch this off. You'll see that it has also made, I'll go into detail on this when you do the analysis. You've got a corrective structure here. You've got this one here. It was already got out of this corrective structure. We'll be looking for this to push down. Look out for the detail when we look at the analysis. I'll show you even the higher time frame here, what it looks like and why we're expecting big moves on the pound pairs as well. Okay, so that is pound CAD. And lastly, we can look at pound AUD. There's over 10 or 12 very clear setups for the next week. Obviously, we're going to be looking at that during our daily webinars in our group. So look out for them during this analysis, and you will need to use your strategy as and when they confirm in the week. Right, so this one also, you can see we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. W, X, Y, X, Z. Okay, so what you have here, let me draw it cleanly here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. It looks like we've had this last move today for the corrective structure. So it's an 11 string sequence. W, X, Y, X, Z. What do I mean by 11 string sequence? This is how you count. This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so the axis you only count them as one, so it's an 11 string sequence. There's a special way in which you trade this 11 string sequence. Now, what you have here is what looks like an AB based pattern. AB based pattern, one of the controversial patterns that Elliott has also spoke about. There are some wave traders that don't believe that there is actually the AB based pattern is actually a valid Elliott wave pattern. Elliott also only refers to it twice in his book, but it does look like if there wasn't the AB based pattern, there will not be any explanation for this reversal here. So this is the AB based pattern, and we're looking for this one to start coming down. So the AB based pattern is a reversal pattern. Okay. So that is what we'll be looking at here now. We'll be looking for this big move to the downside here. All right, so let's get started with our analysis. There's so many setups, more than 12 clear setups that we'll be looking at. Corrections are almost done now. It looks like we're going to be getting the big moves to the downside now. Let's have a look here. Let's start with today's analysis. We'll start with the cryptocurrencies. We'll look at Bitcoin first. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin, very simple structure. We've been looking at this for a while now. Let's have a look here. So this is Bitcoin, and this is on the daily. Started with this move, like with all the cryptocurrencies, the end of 2018, that's when we started this corrective structure. So for the last year, we have only just been focusing and trying to figure when these corrections will end. And if you watch all of the videos last year, we're just showing you how these corrective structures was gonna play out. So even when we were right at the top here, we were focusing. I was actually focusing that we're gonna get as close as possible to zero. Okay, we eventually only came to about 3,000. All right, so that's all right. So let's see how this is playing out now. So and what we're looking at on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I'm looking at a very simple structure now. We've got a 3-wave move down here. Okay, we've got another 3 waves, that is a running flat, and we've got another 3 waves here. And now we're expecting that this is possibly the move. Okay, so this is possibly the move like that, this one here. So now if you look at this here, you just look at any continuation pattern, you keep taking this continuation pattern. So what does this look like? You've got this, if you wanted to label, this would have been your A structure, your B structure. Your B is the whole correction in 2018, and then your C there. Okay, so what do we call this one inside here? It will be a WXY, and I'll show the structures inside and why I'm labeling it as such. So if you look at this here, you've got 3 waves here, 1, 2, 3. So if you wanted, you can label that as A, B, C. And then you've got that as a W. And then you've got a running flat there. That is your running flat. Let's mark it with the blue. So that is your running flat in red there. Okay. And then you also have another 3-wave move. That is another Y. So let's draw it cleanly. You don't force this. It must fit inch perfect. Okay. So if you force it, then you're cheating yourself. And because you're playing with your real money, you're going to get the trades wrong. So this is an A, B, C structure here as well. It's another A, B, C, B, C structure there. Okay. Internally here, if you wanted to take it further, you've got also in this green, you also have a W and an X and a Y. Depending on the structure, that's how your labeling looks. So now, what are you looking for? You're looking for continuation patterns to the upside. Continuation patterns to the upside. Now, let's have a look on in the lower time frames, see how this is playing out. Okay, so this is stuff. Let's go to the 4-hour on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we got an entry only up around this area, only here. This is where I took my trade here on Bitcoin here. So there's a week where we discussed this to be a running flat, and we're looking for entry points. Okay, did not quite go. What it did instead, it just made a move here, and then after that, it actually made this larger expanding flat here, larger running flat. And that's after that running flat, we got an entry point, we got a corrective structure. So the Bitcoin has been in the ups on the upside since. Okay. So let's have a look now. What are we looking at? How do you, if you're not in the trade, you should be actually buying Bitcoin. And as I said, when we were right at the bottom, said it's time to buy the cryptocurrencies for the long term. It's time to invest them for the long term. Now, the only thing that you're looking for now, so if you look at last week, we did not have a clear structure. I think what we had last week was simply a structure like this. So we started correcting here. We did not have any entry points if you're looking for any buys, but you actually started getting this pullback in 3 waves. So every time you get these corrective structures, clear corrective structures like this, you just take them on Bitcoin. So you've got another one here as another entry. Okay, so this could have come up here and come down and made this structure and made an ABC structure, but it didn't. That is not the structure. So that means that this is only the pullback that you're having there. Now let's look at what is happening this week. You've got a pullback, and Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies, whatever move that looks like it's going down, is only a pullback, and we'll be looking for further upside. So there's a possibility that from this current corrective structure, you just come retest this, maybe even come down here and then push higher. So you're just looking for buy setups to benefit, to ride the trend on Bitcoin. So just look for these corrective structures. The bigger, the better. Okay, so this is a slightly nice one to take, but this is a little bit too small. And when it's small like this, it can go like this, and the next correction can actually take you out. So you want it to be big like this. So even this one will be a very nice one if it does this and give you this structure. It will be a nice big correction for upside. So we're looking for upside. So it looks like there is also divergence currently happening, but that divergence does not mean reversal. It can simply mean pullback. It can simply mean pullback. You can just have this as a pullback and then push higher, or even something like this. Okay, and you get the structure for upside. So that divergence does not mean reversal. Right, so that's what Bitcoin looks like. And let's look at Litecoin now. Litecoin also has a very simple structure on the daily. It's a simple pulse, correction, and a pulse. Now that is what Litecoin looks like, and this is what we looked at. How we looked at Litecoin from the moment the correction started. Like Bitcoin, here the pulsing move, and the whole of 2018 has been a corrective structure, a simple corrective structure like this. Move, move, and a move that ended here. Okay, I could draw it like this, but it will look very, it will not look nice if I do it like that, but the structure is actually this one here. Okay, so from there, this is the reversal which we forecasted to the pip, and then we're looking for this upside. That has already started, similar with the same as the rest of the cryptocurrencies. That's the move that we're looking at now. Let's go look at that move. This is the move that has already started here now. Okay. So Litecoin is simple. You simply look for these pullbacks. You simply look for the pullbacks. Even here, we'll look at this one on the 4 hour, see what structure is happening. So whenever you get corrective structure like this, you just keep buying this. You keep buying this and you keep protecting your stops. When you get a correction, you move your stop, you move your stop, you move your stops. Okay, so let's have a look here on the 4 hour on Litecoin. So Litecoin also has a similar structure to Bitcoin. Pull back here, move up here, could press up here and come down. It does not have to come down for this one, guys. It can actually move all the way from here. But even if this happens, that simply means that you're going to get an entry lower at the bottom before you go upside. So here, there's a clear setup for a buy that could just come here, reverse and go. So look out for both options when you take the trade. But the idea is to keep buying the cryptocurrencies. That is Litecoin. Ethereum has a similar structure to Bitcoin. Same here, if you're looking in the smaller, in the lower degree here, you've got a pullback, you've got a pulse, you've got a corrective structure. You'll be looking for this to push higher. Will it go all the way, or will it move up here and come back for a regular flat before it goes? That's what you need to manage when you take the trade. So there is a clear buy setup here when this confirms here. Okay, that's what you're going to be looking at. You're going to be looking for that confirmation. No reversal as yet. Any move that looks like it's going down will simply be a pullback. So let's have a look at this one here. So what we also didn't see on Ethereum is that it actually started with a leading diagonal, and this leading diagonal played out like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction, and then it started pushing higher. Okay, this is how we missed the initial move to the upside. Okay, that's okay. So let's see how this one has played out. It's going to play out in the next coming session. So we started with a leading diagonal: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, overshoot, and then a pullback in 3 waves, and then it goes. Okay, so that is Ethereum. Let's see what do we expect. As I've shown in the lower time frame, there is a buy setup on most of the cryptocurrencies looking like that. Will it come here first, or will it come back first before it goes? Manage that when you look at these trades. Are you looking for upside? Yes, there is divergence, but that divergence can just be a pullback. Ripple, let's show the daily as well, because I need to show the move that we've been expecting on Ripple, and it looks like that move is coming. So that, the blue line that I have there on Ripple, this move we've been expecting for some time, and that move is coming. So let's have a look here. So it's possible that we don't get this one here because it looks like all the cryptos are looking upside now. So let's first look at the structure and what we're looking at here. So I've been saying for Ripple, you need to look out for this pulsing move here to happen here. So it looks like with the move now on the cryptos, you are getting that move. That move is actually playing out. So what has happened here? You had a move down here. You had a corrective structure here. That's 3 waves. Now you're getting this one here. Let's change this color on this one just so we can differentiate. Make it blue. You've got here. And then we're looking for this one. This is the move that we're looking at. Okay, so if this goes all the way, we're going to have to update the structure, but we can see that that is the move that is going on here. So I've been saying from when it was here, you could see the divergence. There was clear divergence that and showing here from the moment this was coming down here. You had this clear divergence here. So let's see now if you are getting this move to this level, and that move definitely looks very possible now. Okay, let's have a look here. This is then on the daily. So let's see what this one looks like. Let's go to the 4 hour. So like with the rest of the cryptocurrencies, you're simply looking for entries, you're looking for buy setups. Here you've got a pullback. You can actually make a case for this one to be a three-wave move, but this is not a Elliott wave structure. It does not exist, it does not comply. So we cannot look at that as the same structure. So we're only simply looking at this as a pullback, a pulse, and a corrective structure. Maybe pulls back deep, but it's gonna push higher. Will it push all the way, or will it make a regular flat first before it goes? So let's have a look and see how that plays out next week. But don't, if you're not in the, if you're a short-term trader, you should actually take this one here and at least move to break even when it gets to this level, in case you get this one to the downside. So you must take it for no loss and you get another entry points here. So that's how you manage your trade, but use your own strategy to manage this setups. All right, so that's what you're going to be looking at for all the cryptocurrencies. This is the structure that we have. Let's see how that plays out. Right, so that is Ripple. Now let's look at the indices. We'll start with S&P 500. So some comments on last week's video that S&P 500 or the indices analysis was incorrect. I think you're not looking at the videos or you're not looking at the analysis correctly. And to show you that, so this is what we discussed last week, exactly the video from last week and the forecast from last week. What has happened from now? You'll see the current annotation. I'm going to use red, so to show the actual way in which this has played out. So we had this three-way move here. Okay, this has already played out. So what was the forecast? The forecast was that there's a possibility for this to push a little higher to make a regular flat. What has happened instead? It has just kept coming down here like this. Does that mean that the strategy is wrong? It doesn't mean the strategy is wrong. It simply means you had a three-wave move down here. Instead of having a regular flat, you simply had a zigzag and you had this move here. Now, this is the structure that you have now, and this is how it plays out, and this is how you should look at the structures. Okay, so the idea here is not about being right or wrong, it's be able to see the structures in the right way and be able to profit from it. I can be right here and you go and lose money, or I can be wrong and then you still go make money. So you need to be able to use this for your own benefit. So this was the analysis on the S&P 500. Let's go to the live one and see how it has played out. So what was the analysis last week? Just to show you, the analysis last week was that we've got a three-wave move here. We focused on this three-wave move, 1, 2, 3, even when this was coming down here. So this is where we were last week. What did I say? I said I'm expecting maybe a little move to the upside, and then we need to come down. It was the same analysis on all the indices, and that is what we're still expecting even now. When we got to this level, we said we're expecting a deeper correction, and this is the deeper correction that we have been talking about when we were here. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is what we have now. We've got a three-wave move. Will this keep coming down here? It is just a few P points before the, let's have a look here, before the blue box. I just want to put on here, and that is my blue box. So what's going to happen on the blue box? Either you get a reversal or a corrective structure. So let's see what's going to happen when you get to this level. Here, you're either going to get this. And if you get this as a correction, that means you're going to get another one that will make another WXY structure. That means the correction is going to be even deeper. Either that or you get a pulsing move from the blue box. If you get a pulsing move, you wait for a correction and you take it up for a retesting of the top there. Easy as that. And that's how you focused the structures. Right, so that was a theme for all the indices for last week. It is still the same, and they've played out as we expected. So that is S&P 500. Let's look at the rest. The Dow, exactly the same structure as the S&P 500. We've got a three-way move here to the downside. Okay, so same as the S&P 500, we're simply waiting for it to move a little further here. Either you're going to get a deeper correction that corrects the whole move, and then you get another one like this. It makes this structure. Either that or a pulsing move, right at the blue box. If you get that, there's a possibility for this to retest the top. Okay, so that's how we're going to be looking at them. The analysis on the indices is very simple. Right, so just show on the daily. So do not panic don't be too quick to panic with the indices. Look at the structure and be confident when you do your structure. So even here, if you remember last year, this could have made anybody panic, you would have thought that this was going all the way down and the indices are crashing. Okay, so don't be too quick. Understand the structures first. If it's coming down, it's coming down. You should be able to make money out of it. So let's have a look here. If you get this one here, and it makes a correction like this, then you've got this trade to the downside. Okay, if you get a pulsing move to the upside, then you get this trade to go retest the top here at least. All right, so that's how you're going to be looking at the Dow. Nasdaq is similar. Let's use this one. Let's use this clean one. So the Nasdaq, same thing, three-wave pullback. They've all made three-wave pullbacks. The question is whether this is going to continue. Will it make a wave three to make a bigger corrective structure? Let's see how that plays out. Doesn't really matter at this stage. What you want is when the correction is done, you want the move to the upside to resume. Okay. So if this happens, does not mean that the upside move is disqualified. You've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If it happens, that simply means that the correction is going to take longer and it's going to be deeper, and then you're going to push higher. Then you're going to have W, X, Y. Simple as that. Okay. So now that's what you're going to be expecting here on this one. So let's look on the 4 hour. See if there's any signs of reversal there. So on the 4 hour, this is coming down quite correctively. Let's have a look here. There isn't even really any divergence here. So let's see how this one is going to play out. We've got the three-wave move down. We've got a three-wave up. We've got this one, three waves down. Will this now be a three-wave move? A break above this, then you'll expect this one to go to the top. And that's how you look at these structures. That is the Nasdaq. Next is the Nikkei. Right, so Nikkei, we looked at this one to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 11 swing sequence and expected this one to make a three-wave move. Okay, and that is how that is playing out. Even here, I expected this to push a little bit higher before we drop, and that is how this is playing out. Now you look for this to make this structure, possibly back down to this. This line is insignificant, guys. It doesn't mean anything. Let's take it off. Let's take off this trend line here. Let's switch off here. So you have this structure here as a move. You've got this one correcting here. Let's see how this plays out. So this can actually be a bigger corrective structure if this starts pulling back here like this. And then we still push higher. Okay. Nothing clear there at the moment. No buy setup. If you get this one, you've got a sell setup for another move like that. Let's watch and see how that plays out. Right, so that is the Nikkei. DAX. Before DAX, yeah, let's do the DAX. So on the DAX, we looked at this to be a three-wave move. It's a pulsing move. It's a three-wave correction and a pulsing move. A simple ABC structure. And now you can see that we're getting a corrective structure. Now, is this correction enough for this move? If it's not enough, it will make it double like that. If it's not enough, it will make it double, and then we'll have that move. So that means if it starts correcting like this, you've got another move to the downside. That is the deeper correction that we're speaking about. So this one is even better, because when you look at the downside here, we've got a three-wave move down here. If you get another three-wave move up here, that is a very nice setup for another move similar to that one. Okay, so top here will have been a WXY with a running flat there. Let me mark this with a different color because it becomes a bit confusing if I mark it with the same color. So that if you see that, let's switch off here. If you see that, you'll see that we have a running flat there. That is your X wave, 1, 2, 3, X, and this move. Right? So expect this. Whether it's going to be a pulse, if it becomes a pulsing move, that means you only have this correction, then you're going to have a push higher. That is the DAX. UK 100. UK 100 has made a 5-wave move to the upside. Got a 5-wave move up, and then you're looking for this to be a corrective structure. can you do this first and then do this? That is what I showed on the S&P 500. There is always that possibility that you can actually make a regular flat or just one pullback. That is a single corrective structure. Okay, so expect both possibilities. If it keeps correcting here below this here, that means you're gonna just simply have 1, 2, 3 wave pullback. Will it be enough for this whole move? We'll see if we get a pulsing move here, and then we can look for upside. But for now, let's see how this move behaves when it gets around this level. That is the UK 100. All right, Nifty. Let's have a look at the Nifty. So Nifty, we have this 1, 2, 3 wave move here up until the top here. Last week we had this pulsing move to the bottom. Okay, so I actually thought that this was going to make a corrective structure, something like this that will correct the whole move. But instead it has made this pulsing move again. Can this one now come down and still make this corrective structure? So that will be the same as this one here. This will be the same corrective structure as this. So you can have AW, AX, AY. No, that can be a WXY. Can be a WXY move because you've got a pulsing move there. You actually have a regular, you actually have a diagonal in the beginning there. So that we've always been looking, we look at this one as A1, as A2, as A3. Will this be a 4? Can a 4 come down for this one, or is this a 4 and we're going to come up? Right, so it can only be a wave 4. You need to look at the rules. It can only be a wave 4 if it does not touch here. If it touches here, it cannot be a wave 4 unless it's a diagonal. Okay, a wave 4 cannot touch wave 2. Okay, so in this case, it looks like it has not touched, so it can still be a wave 4. Let's have a look here. If it is right there. It actually has touched, so you cannot look at it as a wave 4. You need to look at it as a 11 sync sequence. So let's see how this one is going to play out first, whether it's going to come down with the rest of the indices before we push higher. Let's have a look here on the, we're on the 4 hour. Not really divergence there. Let's look in the 1 hour. Look at that immediate structure there at the top, see what's going on there. So Nifty short term, you should be looking for a little bit of downside from here. So you've got this one here, you've got a 3-wave move up here, retested the top here, it's coming down here, you've got a corrective structure here. It should at least come down to this level. Okay, we'll see what happens when it comes down to this level. If it comes down to this level, it can push up higher because this is a continuation pattern and make this 3-wave move. Then we can focus and see what the next move is going to be. So at least now you know the next 1, 2 moves. Okay, so that is the Nifty. Let's now look at the US dollar pairs. Euro, US dollar. On the daily, so Euro, we are expecting this move here. Let's switch on the analysis here. Euro, US dollar. I'm expecting this move. Remember, I've always said that don't expect this to be the exact corrective structure. I'm just showing you that after this, you're going to have a pullback. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be something like this. It can be a regular flat. It can be an expanding flat. It can be something like this. It can be an expanding flat like that. Doesn't matter. But otherwise, you need to have a correction for this move that has happened from the top there. Now, you need to be looking for any buy setup that happens right at the bottom here. So we're looking at this. I'm going to go to the 4 hour now in a bit. Looking for this one to be a wave 4. But if you're wrong with the count here, you don't want to miss the buy setups. Every time you get a buy setup here on the euro, you need to take it. Because you also have divergence that has been happening from here. If you look at this here. And this is getting even steeper here. Okay. Makes a lower low here, and then we're making a new higher low here. Okay, so expect a move to come up on the euro. Now let's go into the detail of the 4 hour and see what this is playing out as. We're looking at this as a wave 4, last wave 4 of the ending diagonal. So let me just show you the structure here. You can take a snapshot of what the forecast is here. So that is a 1, 2 in red, 3 in red, 4 in red, and then 5 to end the diagonal. Now we're trying to focus the end of this diagonal. Let's have a look on the 4-hour and see if this wave 4, how this wave 4 is playing out. Okay, let's have a look here. What did we look at last week? I'm going to show you the number of analysis that we were looking at with this corrective structure. And the corrective structure, you always, it can play out in a number of ways. The idea is to get it when it is completed. So we started with this one here, started with this move. So we thought initially it was going to make this move. This is the structure that we were looking at. So when it was coming down here, sold here, expecting that it was going to retest the bottom here, which it did, and actually retested the one here, and made this one to the upside. I wanted it to come and make this to be a wave 4 so we can come down. So you can see that even if you didn't get all of that move, you got this one to the downside, you got this move here, okay? Let's look at how this has played out now. So it has now made this structure. Now, what does it look like? Last week, what did we look at? We thought because we got more data, and then we thought this was going to be the move. Let's do this here. Let's switch off here. Last week, it looked like it was going to make this. This is how you adjust as you get information. As a running flat, and for this one to either for one here, and then we get the move to the upside. Is this still the case? Is this the running flat, and are we going to the upside? Are we going to get the move to the upside? We've got a pulsing move here now. We've got this pulsing move, so that move could be this one. What is this running flat? If you can see it clearly, so this is the 3-wave move here. So this is 1, 2, 3. You can even look at this one here. It's a complex B correction here. Okay, how do we label this? If you would like to label A, B, C. Green is WXY because it's 3 waves there, WXY. Okay, and then the yellow will be your A. The whole red degree is a corrective structure, B. And then you'll be looking for this C to be the wave 4. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So let's see if this is the move that we're looking at. So don't miss any buy setup on the euro. So if you didn't get this impulsive move on the euro last week, let's look at a entry here. Look to see if you're going to get a move to the upside. Okay, but as you can see, this is a corrective structure. It does not look complete. We still want it to complete. The idea is to get it when it is completed. So let's see if we're going to get a corrective structure for upside here. That's how we're looking at the euro. US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD is playing out exactly as we have forecasted for the last couple of weeks. Let's look at on the daily here and look at the structure that we have been looking at. Watch the last couple of videos. This is the structure that we've been looking at on US dollar CAD. We've had this pulsing move to the downside. Now we also had this 1, 2, 3 to the upside, and we've had this corrective structure here. Now for the last couple of weeks, we have been here. A couple of days we've been making this corrective structure, and I said that this move is the same as this one. It's the same as this one, and you're looking for this one, which is this one here, to make another 3, to make simply 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's where we're looking for this to retest the top there. So there's now a very likelihood that that is going to play out. So now if you get corrective structure here, corrective structures here, you may still get a move to the 137 area that we'll be looking at. And this whole thing is actually a corrective structure. When you get to this level, you could get this big move to the downside, over 700 pips to the downside. So even if you don't get to this level and you start getting sell setups, you need to take it. Okay, confirmation will be when you break out of this. Remember, we're not really trading set trend lines, we're just identifying the structures just to show whether the structure has completed or not. So this is what you're going to be looking at, maybe up to that level. What will that have done? This will have been a W here, a X here, and a Y. Simple like that. So let's look at this here, and the X here in the middle. Okay, very clear structure on US dollar CAD. What did I want to fix here? I wanted to fix this W, so you can see it clearly. That's a W here, W here. Okay, and this needs to be labeled with a different degree. Okay, and that should actually be a red ABC there. A, C. A, B, that's the C that you're looking for here on US dollar CAD. All right. Go 4 hour, look for buy setups. Okay, look for buy setups. Look for buy setups. So this could be making this structure here 1, 2, 3, and it pushes higher. Okay, that's US dollar CAD, US dollar CHF. Now, US dollar CHF, you need to look at US dollar CHF with Euro US dollars. Most of the time, you'll find that if you don't see the structure clearly on the Euro, you'll see that US dollar CHF is making a clear structure. US dollar CHF was making this corrective structure. Even if we focus on that the Euro must go down one more last week, you could see that there was a corrective structure on US dollar CHF. So that meant that that move to the downside on the Euro was not going to happen. So now US dollar CHF looks like it's downside. It's going down here. You can see that the corrective structure is clear. So that means if you get a corrective structure here for one more here, Euro should keep pushing higher in the next coming session. Right. Pound US dollar with the rest of the pound pairs, expecting big moves to the downside. As I said, all the pound pairs, when you see a move to the upside, even if it looks like a significantly big move, that will be a corrective structure. So this is on the daily. It looks like you've got a reversal candle. When I don't look at candles, I'll look at structures. Let's see what this looks like in the lower time frame. Right. Remember what we're looking at on pound. We're looking for this move. Yes, this move has happened. Euro still hasn't got this corrective structure, and now we're getting this move. The reason why I said this, you look for any corrective structure here, any move to the upside is corrective structure, is because you're on a downtrend. That's a move that is a expanding flat there. 1, 2, 3. All right. That is the expanding flat. And then you're going to be looking for this to keep continuing to the downside. That's why I'm not expecting any reversal as yet on the pound. So let's have a look on the 4 hour. Looks like we've got a reversal candle on the 4 hour. But that's not necessarily a reversal. It could just be a corrective structure. Now let's see what this could play out as. You could be getting here a pullback, a move, and it makes this corrective structure. So any corrective structure that looks like this, you're looking for continuation to the downside, and that is the case for all the pound pairs, including pound yen. Now they will keep pushing up, pushing them like this, and you'll think there's a reversal, but the structurally, this is not anywhere near a reversal as yet. So whenever you get these moves here, these extreme moves, that's them trying to push it lower. When they push it lower, they're going to try to do this. They try to do this first. So most people will panic and get out. They do this and you panic and then they drop it. So these are only corrective structures. So when you see something like that, even this here now doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean that when you open the market, it's going to go here. So possibilities that when the market opens can even do that and then you drop. Okay, or this can just do this, go sideways and keep dropping. Okay, we're expecting downside. It's tricky to enter now after this big move, so you need to get a deeper or a bigger corrective structure on all the pound pairs. Right, US dollars. Now let's not do the ZAR yet. Let's do the Audi and New Zealand first. Now, Audi and New Zealand are looking upside with gold as well. So you've got a pulsing move here. Similarly, Audi is on a downtrend. Not expecting a big reversal here, but you've got a buy set up here. So don't leave it. 1 hour correction, look for 1 hour correction, and then you can take it up. Okay, at least up to this level, a three-way move. It can be a three-way move and drop, but you've got a nice trade here to the upside, at least for now. So you can look at this one and take it for upside. Okay, so that is Audi. New Zealand, the same. You've got a pulse. You can do what it looks like a corrective structure. So New Zealand is a little bit tricky. This is not as strong enough. This one can still make this one into this. But you're looking for continuation to the downside. So this is a New Zealand and Audi, right? So if it's going to have the same structure as Audi, this should keep correcting, and then you make this three-way move. But that is only a pullback. Okay, so that is New Zealand. Now, US dollar ZAR, we've had the elections on the 8th of May. New president has been elected. The cabinet has just been set. And all that news has just been building the structure as we have expected it to play out. Okay, so which one follows? Which one leads the others? Is it the news or the structure? As far as I'm concerned, my experience tells me that the structure is always ahead. Okay, so let's have a look at what we looked at. We looked at US dollar ZAR as a three-wave move like that with a running flat there. Last week, this is what I showed you, that we may have this move here upside. We had the pulsing move here. We had this three-wave move here. I expected this one to come and retest the top and come down, and that is exactly what has happened in the last week. Are we going to get this one as we forecasted last week again? Then we would have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this fifth move here that we're looking at on US dollar ZAR. We can come down here to around the 1380s area, just around the 14 area, to make the regular flat like that and push higher, or it can push higher from this level. It will not make any difference. So if you're getting, excuse my voice guys, I'm a bit fluid, that's why it sounds like I'm talking through my nose. So if this one drops below here, that means you're going to come back to this level and you're going to have this move down here first, and then we push higher. Okay, and retest the top there. What will that make? At the top there, doesn't mean that it's going to go. We may go for one down before we go. Let me use the same color. I need to use the same color because it's the same degree. We can get this and then a push higher. And this is how US dollar ZAR is playing out. So it doesn't matter what's playing out in the politics, in the news, the structure always remains. Right, so that is US dollar ZAR. So what is the expectation? Possibility of, if you get this one here, flag here, look for this to come, not there, not all the way, just to retest the bottom here. That will be making this three-wave structure here before we go up. Very clear US dollar ZAR. Right, so now let's go to the yen pes. Or before we go to the yen pes, let's do silver and gold. Then we go to the yen pes. Silver and gold. First, gold. Gold playing out perfectly. So what did we expect last week? Last week we had this move to the downside, sharp move. We had this. We now looked at this one as a running flat. Expected this one to come down a little here. Then we push up higher. You've got this one, even if we thought we didn't go down here. You have now. That means that correction has now completed. You need to get this one in the lower degree for our correction, and then we push it higher. Now, what is happening in the higher degree on gold? Let's have a look on the higher degree. So if you remember, we've been looking at this triangle, a possibility for the triangle, and I said, this triangle, according to the rules, you need to apply the rules. This triangle can be disqualified if you cannot have more than 2 impulses within a triangle. Okay, if we had those 2 impulses within a triangle, then that triangle would have been disqualified. Now here you've got 1, 2, 3 here, you've got 1, 2, 3 there, you've got a pulsing move here. So this one was starting to play out as a pulsing move, and that was going to disqualify the triangle. Is this now going to be a 3-wave move to complete the triangle like this? Okay, let's see how that plays out. Okay, so if this pushes up higher, so that means the triangle is going to be disqualified. But for now, you can see that we've got this corrective structure. It has completed. If we come here and retest the boundary and come back, that will be A, B, C, D, E. But this will be too short here. Okay, let's see how this one is going to play out. Either this is a triangle or this is a regular flat. Okay, it's a regular flat. Okay, even though this does not really come and retest the bottom here, remember there's no specific rule for a regular flat. Regular flat just says if this is an A, B, C, your C ends around the area of wave A. Does miss it by a couple of points, but it is still around the same area. So you can make a case for a regular flat and expect this one to push higher to make this structure one, and then this one here, regular flat in the middle. Okay, so let's look at both possibilities. Either way, you know that you're looking for first upside up until the top boundary of the triangle on gold. Right, that is how gold looks. Now you'll need to look at entry points now. You've got a nice pulsing move there. Give an opportunity with a pulse and a corrective structure, and then it starts going there like that. If you get another one here, it will be even better because it will be outside the structure. will be outside the structure. That will be confirmation that you're going all the way up. Silver, we've been looking at this ending diagonal on silver for a while. So let's look at what the structure looks like. This is how we looked at silver. We looked at this to be a three-wave pullback. A, B, and this one to be a leading diagonal. Has the leading diagonal completed now, and we completed the wave C, and are we about to go up? We've got a pulsing move, so we need to see. Same with gold, we need to get a corrective structure outside the boundary to confirm that we're going out. Let's switch off here. I've got more than one line here. I need to take this off. They're not supposed to be visible on all the time frames. Let's get this one off. And this one off. So that is what that looks like. Okay, can draw it in. Let's draw the boundaries in and show it with annotation. Let's take this off. Draw it cleanly. This lower degree, so it should be in a different color. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I will now completed A, B, C. Okay. Now, if that is the case, we've got a pulsing move. We need to correct the structure and we need to push it higher. Okay, let's see how that plays out. If we look on the higher degree, on the higher time frame here on silver, you'll see that we have got the pulsing move here. This is a corrective. This is the ABC structure that we're looking at. Now, this structure can retest the bottom here. It does not have to. It can actually go from here and make this corrective structure as well. So it's a possibility for this one to go and retest the top, or it does not make it in one move. It does this instead, another three-wave move up to the 61%, makes another one like that. So you see there's a number of ways that this can play out. This is why it's important to focus and have the number of alternatives so that you know when the setup confirms which direction you're going. That is silver and gold. Now let's go to the yen pairs, pound yen. Right, like I said in the beginning, all the pound pairs, any move that looks like it's pulling back, that looks like it's going up, is a pullback. Pound can actually come and retest the bottom. Right, so what did we expect here? When this was coming down here, I was expecting that this was going to go and retest the top here. Okay, that has not happened. So why was I expecting that? It was simply because we're expecting this one here. Let's look at the structure. And that is still what I have here. I still have that labeled like that. Expected a deeper correction here before we come down here. So you had 1, 2, 3 correction. Expected this one to be a 1, 2, 3 move to the downside. 1, 2, 3. Then expected to have another 1, 2, 3. Okay, this we expected it to go and retest 156 again. Okay, that has not played out as we expected. So this is the move that we're looking at now. So there's a possibility that this three-wave move here, this could have actually been a simple three-wave move, and we are now making another possibly three-wave move that will even retest the bottom here. So all that will be determined by the move that we get here. We could get if we get any corrective structure here, it's just an opportunity to write down the trend. That is pound JPY, and like all the pound pairs, you're expecting downsides. Okay, I'm not even going to go to the lower time frame. You simply need to look for continuation patterns. Continuation patterns. There's no sign of reversal, but don't take these small ones, because if you take this small one, you can get a move that makes does this and takes you out with a bigger corrective structure before it goes down. So you want these corrective structures like these ones where they push it up and it looks like a reversal, like these ones here where they push it up. Those are the kind of corrective structures that you're looking for entries. These ones are risky. You'll be lucky if it keeps coming down, but you need to keep getting the bigger corrective structures to the downside. That is a pound yen, US dollar yen. US dollar yen, I showed the higher degree forecast on this one. I'm going to show it again. Let's go to the daily. think I showed this last week or the week before. Let's see what we're expecting here. Now, let's go to the weekly time frame actually, just show what this looks like. So if you look at the weekly on US dollar yen, this may be an indication why we're still expecting further downside on all the yen pairs. Now, we have here, let's start here in the beginning, in the middle of the correction here. We looked at this correction between 2017 and 18. It's still there. If you watch the videos then, you'll see that we focused that this was going to make this three-way move here. This three-way move here. Now, the last year we looked at this move to the upside where we have this running flat here. So we had that as a three-way move. So that would be a 1, a 2, and a 3. Okay. Now, this year we had a move to the downside. We had a reversal here. So there's a possibility that this is going to make another move like this. So what does this do? This makes a W, X, Y structure. Possibly even retest the previous low here. You have here a pulsing move. That is what is being corrected by these three waves. So there's a likelihood that when this structure completes, you've got a retest of the top here. What does this mean? That means you've got this being corrected by the whole degree, red degree. That makes an A, that makes a B, and then you'll be looking for a C. And that is the structure that you're looking at on US dollar JPY. A red degree also you need to label as A, B, and a C. Actually, this cannot be A, let's see, it can actually be a B because this is a three-wave structure. It's actually three-wave structure within this one here. So you've got an A, B, C degree, A, B, C there, right? So you've got a higher degree A, B, C. Now what do you have here? Let's use a different color again. You have here 1, and all this green is correcting that. So this can go on and on. If I zoom in here, you'll see that these cycles keep going outwards, keep growing outwards, or they keep growing inside. So that is the structure that you're looking at on US dollar JPY. Now, where are we currently? Currently, we are here. So any corrective structure, possibility of this retesting the bottom here. So get corrective structures, sell corrective structures on US dollar JPY. Okay. So we were up here last week. I said we're going to come down, and that is how it has played out because of the structure. Now, this is where you are. You're looking for this one to come down here. Possibly even here. It does not have to retest. You can simply make a three-wave move like that. Okay, so that's what you're expecting. You're on the downside here. Keep selling US dollar JPY. EURJPY. EURJPY. Oh, no, let's go back to the lower degree now. Let's go back to the daily. So those long-term focus is what we do in the group during the daily webinars. Right, so EURJPY, we had this move, expected this one to be a three-wave move. When it broke below the 1618 here, that's when we disqualified this move. So you can see last week, the week before, we said that this was gonna keep coming down and retest the bottom here, like the rest of the yen pairs. CHFJPY, trade of the week last week has played out perfectly. You two should have taken it right at the top here. So this is the minimum, just a few pips from target, can still go all the way down. As I said, when we do the detail, I'll show you why I expect it to go even further. This can even come down to this level, to around 106 area, 200 pips more. So overall, 400 pips from this level. Can even come down to this level. Can even retest the bottom here, but it's not going to go in a straight line. Okay, so let's see how this plays out. So you're still in, it should still be in the trade. Just let this one run. It should break below here and come down. Even if it does this first, which I don't expect, but this should come down. That is CHFJPY, and that is your trade from last week still playing out. Right, so watch out for Euro New Zealand. We're still going to discuss Euro New Zealand and other trade setups that we discussed in the beginning. So the theme with the yen pairs, you're just looking for downside. Just look for continuation patterns to the downside. AUDJPY, that's the structure. continuation to the downside. That's on the daily. If you go to the 4-hour, you just look for these continuation patterns, these corrective structures. Okay, this one is actually already broken out of this one. This is going to go down. So these are 1, 2, 3. It's coming down. Okay, so any corrective structure, even on the 1 hour here, it keeps going down, right? But you just be careful if you're selling after such a big move. You need a bigger corrective structure. Okay, but the theme on the yen pairs is downside. The New Zealand yen, same thing. It's passing move to the downside. Expect to keep coming down. Why are we expecting to keep coming down? That's the daily. We're still expecting to even come. Remember these capitulation moves that happened in the first day of trading? Looks like that is where we are heading for as targets for the yen pairs. Okay, so that is New Zealand CAD. CAD is falling, as you can see. Usually CAD is pushing up higher, so that correlates. So this is coming down here, can keep coming down back to this move. This was the first day of trading in 2019, so we could come back down to that level. Right, so let's go now to the pound pairs. Let's look at the pound pairs. So I said pound pairs are very simple. You are looking for continuation. Currently, for most moves, you're just looking for continuation. So don't go against the trend. You've got a move here. You've got an expanding flat, similar to what you have on pound US dollar. Let's see here. This is the focus. Simple. You're looking for this one to keep coming down. Any corrective structure, any pullback, you're selling it. Minimum, your target is this one here. Okay, so that's what you're looking at on pound chief. Now, you look for the lower time frame, 4 or 1 hour for entries. This will keep coming down. We're looking downside. The bigger the correction, the better. Pound New Zealand, one of the trades of the week. You need to get, you actually have a corrective structure here. You should have had an entry here. Now you've got this pulsing move. Confirmation will be a correction below this structure. If you get a correction below this structure, this is your structure here. Let me draw it cleanly. And I'll show why I'm saying this is the trade of the week. You're looking for this one. Here, if you get a 1 hour correction, it's going to go all the way. Okay, so look for the 1 hour correction there. So let's go to the daily and see why this is the trade of the week and why we want it to come down. If you remember, we actually traded this one to the blue box. Played out perfectly. Played out to the blue box. I've actually removed the blue box now. This was the previous trade that we looked at. We discussed it here in this webinar. So we had this 3-wave pullback, and now we're coming down. So this move can possibly be this one. That's why we're expecting a big move to the downside. Corrective structures, keep selling them. It's likelihood that this will come down to this level. Okay. Now this has already broken out it has already broken out of this structure, so that can be an indication that this structure is complete. Not that we're trading trend lines. So correction here gives better confirmation that nothing is still going to happen within this structure and we're going to come down. Look out for those corrections in the lower degrees. That is pound. And pound AUD, the same as well. We discussed this one, trade of the week. But they have not really set up a yet until you get those corrective structures. So pound AUD, this correction has been playing out for the last 2 years. Forecasted this for 2 years. Right, so this is the corrective structure. Looks like it has ended. I've shown the AB based pattern here on pound AUD. That this is a reversal pattern and we're coming down here. Now we're looking for this one to keep coming down. Back to this level. Okay. Let's see how that plays out. It does not go in a straight line, so you need to be able to manage that. Right. So here, let's have a look here. AB based pattern. Look out for corrective structure for downside. Any corrective structure, you look for downside. Pullbacks are not going to be upside. It's going to look like it's going up, but that's just pullbacks. That's a pound AUD, pound CAD. Higher degree. I said I'm going to show you an even higher degree of this one to show you what we expect with this one. Now, pound CAD, this is a very clear example of why it is important to understand the forecast from historical data to the current. So now, this is what we looked at. We looked at this structure. Now, everything that I say we looked at, you just have to watch the previous videos around that year. We looked at this structure. If you go last year around any date, you'll see that that's the structure that we expected. We also expected this one to come down here, okay? So what were we expecting with this? That this was going to come here and make this move. That move did not happen immediately. We actually had this corrective structure here. So let's have a look here, how this is played out. Could this now be doing this? Let's do it cleanly. This is the correction that we focused on here. Could this now be doing this? And we retest here. This could be making a W, AX, possibly another Y here. And we can then come down. So the forecast doesn't mean it was wrong here. It just means that the correction is deeper than we would have forecasted, and you will not know beforehand if they're going to make it deeper like this. So you keep forecasting, you keep adjusting until you get the right move, as long as you're not losing money in the process. Now, this is the move that we're currently expecting, at least back to this level. That's why all the pound pairs correlate. We've got these corrections. Others have got simply these three-way structures. Others have expanding flat, like US dollar, like pound US dollar and pound chief. Pound Audi has got the 11 swing sequence, as you've seen, and pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, what is the structure? Pound New Zealand has got a different one. So this one is pound New Zealand on the weekly. So same as pound New Zealand, we had this one here, and we have the pulsing move to the downside. So this is why I'm saying pound New Zealand could make a big move to the downside. We've got this one that we focused on recently this year, and now we've got this pulsing move. This is the one that I've just shown, and this is why this could potentially come to this level and even break to the downside. But I don't think it will break down to this level in one move. It can actually do this. 1, 2, 3, up, and then down. So either way, you should expect downside on the pound pairs and be able to manage it. You are here now, you just want this to come down. Right? That's pound New Zealand, pound Audi, pound CAD, pound chief, looking very good there. Pound, euro pound, let's go to the euros now. That concludes the pound pairs. Now, if you look at euro pound, correlates, inverse correlation with the pound pairs. You've got a move here, you've got a regular flat. Looked at this one to come down here. Now, what do we expect? You've got a passing move already. What do you want to do? You simply want to get corrective structures for upside. Minimum, break this level, or even make this move like that. I don't expect it to go in a straight line. Could come back, could come and retest the top here. Let's take this off. So this is why I was saying there are a number of setups that are going to play out in the next coming sessions. This one could simply come here and make this move to the upside. Either way, you've got both alternatives. And when you've got more than one alternative, doesn't mean that you're going to lose a trade. Just simply means that you're going to have one confirming. And when it confirms, you'll see which one it is. Right, so that's euro pound. Let's look at the 4 hour. So you're simply looking for entry points. Even if it seems like there's a bit of divergence, that divergence can simply mean you're going to have a pullback. So don't let the pullbacks fool you. They will still push higher. That's euro pound. Let's do the rest of the euro pairs. Now we'll start with the euro New Zealand, the one that's trade of the week last week, still playing out, still valid this week as well. So euro, let's show why it is the trade of the week. You'll see that we've got here, similar to the other pairs, we had this big move up to this level. We had this move here. We have the pulsing move here. Looks like it has made a corrective structure. 1, 2, 3. Will it come down and make this one? This is the move I'm expecting. Minimum here and possibly up to this level. So that's why this is a move that we need to look at. Let's see if this one plays out. That is what we're going to be looking at on Euro New Zealand. It has not really dropped as yet, but as you can see, it has made a very nice corrective structure in the lower degree for entry. Let's look at it in the 1 hour. It has not confirmed as yet. You need to get this. It is making this, and that's what we want. This will give you a very nice entry point with a very low risk to, with a very good risk to reward ratio, and then we'll look for this one to drop. Okay, it has made a pulsing move, clear move, 1, 2, 3, pullback, has made now a pulse. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. Use your own strategy to take the trade, but it looks very good, as you can see. Euro CHF. So the reason why we're looking at Euro New Zealand like that is because we have seen the exact structure on Euro CHF play out. And that is the structure, that is the regular flat. You saw on Euro New Zealand, you've got a similar structure, a regular flat as well. And look what has happened here. On Euro CHF, it has already played out. It made this, it made this. And then this is the move that we're looking at. Okay. I'll probably update this one during the week and make a special video on the trade setups if I get some time. This is what we are looking at. You are looking, this one is leading Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand, exactly the same structure. Let's bring them up on the same page, on the same screen, so you can see. Very, very high probable setup, this. Bring it up. So left-hand side, Euro CHF, right-hand side, Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand on the daily, Euro New Zealand on the daily. Euro CHF on the daily, Euro New Zealand on the daily. So what do you see here? What you see here on the right-hand side, I've done this last week also. 1, 2, 3. What happened after that? It dropped and corrected. Then it dropped. Now, what is happening here? It made a 1, 2, 3. What did it do? It dropped, corrected. What happened? We expect this one to follow suit. Okay, so that is the expectation. You need to manage this one. Don't lose money here. Don't lose money here. Manage this entry. Okay, as I said, when you take this, take cognizance of the fact that there is a possibility for this one to do this. Let's go back to one screen. Back to Euro New Zealand. This one can simply make this one first. Push one, then drop still. So there is that possibility. So don't panic when that happens and don't lose money when that happens. Manage this. That's Euro New Zealand and Euro. Let's look at Euro AUD and Euro CHF. Now let's look at Euro AUD. Euro AUD last week, it was here. It looked like it was making a corrective structure, but because Euro New Zealand had a clear structure for downside, we expected that this one was gonna reverse from current levels. So there's a possibility that this is the structure that we have, and this is actually an expanding flat. It actually has a number of alternatives, this move. So this could be an expanding flat, and then we're looking for this one. Okay, so the euros are looking downside in this case, right? So we could have looked at this one differently. That's the second alternative, but because of the way the euros are playing out, that one should not be the right one. So this could have been the three-way move here. See the difference? Okay, this could have been a three-way move, and this one could have been this one here could have been this, and this is how you look at the structure. So you need correlation as well. You need correlation as well to trade this. So let's look at in the lower degree to see if we've got continuation pattern for the downside, to the downside here. You've got a corrective structure here. That's a move, that's a move. Could even do this, but this is a corrective structure. This will drop with Euro New Zealand if that setup plays out. Right, so that's Euro AUD. Right, Euro New Zealand. Oh, we've already looked at Euro New Zealand. I'm so excited about Euro New Zealand. Euro AUD, Euro New Zealand, EUROCAD, last of the Euro pairs. So EUROCAD, because of the CAD and the CHF here, so we're looking at this one to make a three-way move. Maybe a slight push to the upside before we drop. Okay, let's see how that one plays out, but rather trade the rest of the Euro pairs. EUROCAD is not as clear as the others. That concludes all the Euro pairs. If I missed any, please let me know. Right, so let's carry on. AUD New Zealand. There's also a very nice setup on AUD New Zealand. If you look on the higher degree first, let's look at AUD New Zealand first. Now, if you look at Audi New Zealand, we've got a pulsing move here. You've got a three-wave correction. Now, you've got this trade, nice trade that's looking to come down to this level. It's about 100, it's about 100 pips, okay? Could come all the way. So that is a very nice trade setup there on the Audi New Zealand for downside. Okay, let's have a look here on the 4 hour. 4 hour, you've got that one here. 1, 2, 3. You need to get another one. Get another corrective structure here to confirm this. Even better if this structure is completed here. Okay, a break below that, you'll get that one minimum to this level. Okay, so Audi New Zealand looks good. Let's look at New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD. Let's go higher degree here. So New Zealand CAD has made a pulsing move, 5 waves here. This one is still a valid expanding flat as far as the rules are concerned, so it can actually move here like that. But if it invalidates this, that means this will just make a 3-wave move here. So if we get here, we start making a pulse here, then that is your setup. It will still continue to the downside. So look out for both possibilities. A correction here means this is gonna make this one. Okay. You've got a pulsing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move here in this correction. Okay, we wanted it to only come up to this level, but if it starts going below the 1618, let's see if I've got the 1618 there. Okay, I don't have it there yet, but that's fine. So if it goes beyond the 1,618 here, that invalidates the structure. Right, that is New Zealand CAD, New Zealand Chief. Pullback, looks like it's coming down here. Also made a pulsing move. This could have been the corrective structure. Let's see, but if it starts correcting here at this level, that can break and invalidate the structure. You just need to watch and see how this one goes. It's going. Okay, should have sold at the top there. That is New Zealand Chief, Audi CAD. Let's look at Audi CAD. Audi CAD. Audi CAD has got a very nice structure. You've got a pulsing move. You've got one. Let's do it in a different color. You've got one regular flat there and downside there. Now, internally here, you've got a 3-wave regular flat. Now, this could be the upside in yellow. So as you've seen, USDCAD is still up, looking upside. So can be supported by Audi CAD. So Audi CAD looking upside, look for corrective structures for upside. Very nice structure there. Right, that's Audi CAD looking good. New Zealand CAD could also potentially go up. Audi Chief looks like still looking downside. Okay. CAD Chief. CAD is still looking downside. No new analysis there. And lastly, let us look at oil. Right, oil, this was the expectation last week. We wanted this to simply be a 3-wave pullback and push higher. Okay, it has gone all the way down. Now let's have a look. Whenever you've got the focus strong, you must reevaluate and see why. So let's go to the weekly, because your analysis comes from the long-term view. Right, so if you look at the weekly, you'll see that we had here a 3-wave move. Okay, now this was a pulsing move to the downside. Yeah, this pulsing move here. It looks like what we're having now here, even if it's gonna come here and get a deeper correction here, we could get a structure like that, and retest the bottom here. What will this do? This will be a WXY. Why do I have a WXY? It's not just about having WXY structures here. It can even be an ABC move depending on how this one plays out. So let's see how this one plays out. Where are we now in this whole thing? This is on the weekly now. We are on this one. Okay, so we're going to need to get a corrective structure on oil. All right, either that or it can just simply make a 1, a 2, a 3 like that. Okay, why do we have this as a forecast because you've got this move to the downside. This is a 5-way move to the downside. Okay, so that is why we've got a move here and a correction. So that is the focus on oil, and that's what we're going to be looking at. Right, so that is oil, and that is the focus long term. So now you've got a pulsing move. At some point here, you need to get a corrective structure. If you get that corrective structure, you can possibly retest here. Either pull back and make a move like this, or it can just go in a straight line, whichever one. All right, so that's all I had for you this week. Good luck trading in the next week. Lots and lots of setups. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching, and thanks for attending the live webinar. Have a great week. Cheers. Bye-bye.